Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Cubensis back at it with another story for you. You're all probably wondering what kind of story I'm going to pull out of my hat today. Well, I can definitely say you're all in luck. Today, I get to bring you the story of my first threesome. Yep, you all heard that correctly. This is a very rarely told story, as not even some of my closest friends have heard it. So, I hope you all enjoy. Anyways, let's dig right into the story. It all started with my 19th birthday. To me, birthdays are just like any other day. However, I could finally drink legally now, and you know what? It's the first time my birthday has ever fallen on a Friday. So, I felt it was only fair to celebrate the special occasion. And oh boy, did I celebrate. At this point, I was in college for culinary arts, and I had a full day of classes ahead of me. My 6 a.m. lab was probably the only class that I was actually sober for. I had a break from roughly 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. that day, so I decided I'd mosey my ass down to the pub during my break and order myself a pitcher. I made sure that they checked my ID this time as a nice little slap in the face for serving me for an entire semester already. The bartender chuckled and handed me the pitcher and said, "You know what, this is on the house. Happy birthday." So I mosey on over to a table and sit down. I pound back this pitcher, and I just wait for the rest of my classmates to link up with me at this point. Once they get there, we grab another round for everybody right before we go to the next class. We got maybe 10-15 minutes. Little 90-pound Cubensis here is feeling damn good at this point and thinks that, you know what, this is probably the end of the day. Well, I was mistaken. As it turns out, my classmates had a little bit of a surprise for me. As I mentioned, we only had about 15 minutes left in the break, and they decided, you know what, we're going to do one more round of beer, and we're also going to do a round of shots before we head into class. So, me being me, I'm like, fuck it. Let's do it. By the end of the day, I was absolutely obliterated. So I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna hop on the bus, go home, just go to bed, because I am done at this point. Well, I get my ass home. My parents look at me once I come through that door, and they straight up said, "Why the fuck are you home so early?" And basically told me to go to the bar and enjoy it because, well, you know, I'm finally legal. So I'm sent back out, and I decide, you know what, I'm gonna stumble my drunk ass over to, well, former friend's house at this point. I get over there, you know what, we chill, smoke a few bowls, and then he asked the question, "Where we going tonight?" I couldn't think of anywhere except for one place because it's really the only place in town that was tailored to the younger crowd, and it wasn't extremely dirty. So we figured out where we're going, we grabbed a few more beers, and we pounded them back. As we're getting ready to go, I decide, you know what, let's smoke another round, and then we'll go. So I pack myself the fattest rimmer, and I tried to take it all in one go. My dumbass probably swallowed 90% of this bowl. My stomach instantly turned. I stand up so quick and run to the bathroom. I grab his sink and I just start giving her. He comes in to check on me, and I'm just grabbing the sink like I'm going ham. He walks in and he's like, "You're such an asshole. You can't even use the toilet. Fucking pull yourself together. We're leaving in 10." So I toss some water on my face, try and get myself looking a little bit more lively, but that didn't do so good. I still looked absolutely haggard. However, he didn't care one bit, and he was determined to drag my ass to the club. So we finally pack up our shit, we head out, we get in there, and I had a wee bit of a panic attack because, you know, never been in an atmosphere anywhere close to this before. It was packed from wall to wall. It was overwhelming. So I'm in there, I'm this tiny little 90-pound white boy trying to make my way to the bar. That is a struggle all on its own. I eventually get there, try and order myself a beer. It is the biggest struggle I have ever had. I can't think of any other time that I have had such a hard time trying to get a drink. So I finally get a beer, and they hand me this can of piss. Canned beer is absolutely fucking disgusting. I cannot stress that enough, but you know what? I digress. So I grab my beer, start to walk back to where I had last saw my buddy, and you know what? He was gone. Couldn't find him, so I stand there, drink my beer. You know, I'm that dumbass that sits in the fucking corner of the club at this point because it's my first time. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. But a few minutes went by, and I was approached by this very, very attractive older woman. I would say she's maybe early to mid 30s. She instantly took a liking to me and pulled me into the dance floor with her. We started to dance, have a great time, you know, how things go. And then one of her friends comes up to her and just starts laying into her and giving her shit. Turns out this lady was married and she was out of town for business. So, you know what? Nowadays, Cubensis would not have anything to do with this and he would have just walked away. However, I was young, I was dumb, I wanted some of that. So, she basically told her to fuck off and we went about our business. Wasn't long after that when she leaned in and she said, "Hey, my hotel is literally right across the road." So, I'm sure you can guess what happened. We decided we'll just head over there. So I follow her over to the hotel and we get in there. The guy in the lobby gives me the dirtiest look. Like, he is so unapproving of what he knows is about to happen. We get in the elevator, we go up a couple floors, walk down the hall to her room. We get there and she looks at me and says, "You know what? I forgot to mention, but I'm sharing the room with someone." So, you know what? At this point, I had come too far. I couldn't tap out, so I just went in. The lady that she was sharing the room with, she had definitely hit the bottle pretty hard that night. Not sure if she had made it to the club or not, because she was more obliterated than I was, that's amazing at this point. So, we're in there, we're doing our thing. I'm a fucking horny teenager, so I really don't give a rat's ass. Start making out a little bit on the bed. She takes off my shirt, and pretty much at that point, it was 100% apparent that the other lady was also getting turned on. Wasn't long after that shirt was off that I had both women sitting beside me kissing me from head to toe. It was fucking amazing. But I don't think I have to go into too much detail, as I'm pretty sure 90% of you have had sex before. But I will say this was the most amazing sexual experience I have ever had to this day. And I've had my fair share of amazing sexual experiences. Those will be covered at another point. But let's continue with this. So we start doing our thing. You know, get down dirty, do a little bit of that, heels to Jesus. But I'm young, I'm overwhelmed, so I can definitely say this was not my longest experience whatsoever. But we finish up, I put my clothes on, I start to head back to my buddy's place. Finally get to my buddy's place, he's not home yet, so I just said, screw it, I'll just go smoke a couple bowls in his room, wait for him to get back. Maybe half an hour, 45 minutes later, I can hear the door open, he comes in, and I can hear him say to his older brother, "That dipshit left probably half hour after getting there, and he left with some fucking cougar." Me being me, I chime in from the other room, "That's not even half the story." We had a good laugh, and I can say without a doubt, this is the one birthday I will never forget. The story's already made it about 10 minutes, so you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna cut this one in half. This is gonna be a two-parter. There is a lot more to the story, and you guys will definitely enjoy that. So if you enjoyed the content, feel free to drop a like. If you want to stay up to date on content as it's being released, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. Anyways, happy tripping, and Cubensis out.